Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley and her clone, Ripley 8, were the stars of the original 4 Alien films, so whenever new Alien material is mentioned, the media often asks if she'll be included. Deadline asked this very question of FX chief John Langraf at their Television Critics Association panel, and this was his reply. Alien takes place before Ripley. It's the first story that takes place in the Alien franchise on Earth, so it takes place on our planet, right near the end of the century we're in, so 70 odd years from now. Ripley won't be a part of it or any of the other characters of Alien other than the alien itself. Now, I'm not too surprised that Ripley won't be in the show, especially when according to the era that the series will exist in. 70 years from now is the year 2092, and because he said odd years, I'll give him a whole decade of cushion, giving us a range from the year 2092 through 2102. Well, Ripley was born on the moon at Olympia on January 7th, 2092, making her either an infant or at most 10 years old. To further complicate things, her entire colony was in quarantine for the XMB virus, a quarantine that would last from January 2094 through April 2110. Now that we've been given a time frame for the show, we can see how it fits in with the 6 existing Alien films. And the answer is, right after Prometheus, yet before Alien Covenant. The Prometheus left for LV-223 on August 6, 2091 and arrived on Christmas morning in 2093. The show lives here in this setting at the century's end. Elizabeth Shaw and David would then leave LV-223 on an engineered Juggernaut vessel en route to Planet 4 on January 1st, 2094, arriving in December, where David would annihilate the engineered city with the deadly pathogen. The Covenant would launch later from Earth orbit on January 5th, 2104, so it's entirely possible that the events of either the Prometheus and/or Covenant missions are still ongoing while the series takes place. We already knew the series would be set on Earth, but there was something important I missed at first when he was talking about Ripley. He said that she won't be a part of it or any of the other characters from Alien other than the alien itself. If we take him literally here, the alien, as it appeared to the Nostromo crew, will be in the show, meaning the classic Xenomorph would exist well before David begins his alien experiments. Now, Ridley Scott said in interviews that David is the creator of the Xenomorph. Even the alien that David creates in Alien Covenant is called a Xenomorph by all official marketing material. However, some fans have taken to calling it a protomorph, while the Alien role-playing game calls it a praetomorph. I tend to agree with the proto and praeto terms more, as the alien seems to lack any mechanical nature of a true Xenomorph. Yet it is possible that Ridley Scott sees the Covenant Xeno and the classic Xeno as the same thing, with an updated look and modern CGI. After all, he uses the same logic with the derelict space jockey and the engineers, even though the space jockey on LV-426 was reported as being much larger than any known engineers. But if the series gives us a classic Xenomorph before or during the Prometheus mission, then any notion of David as the creator of the Xenomorph is thrown out the door. Damon Lindelof and Ridley Scott both said that Prometheus was not meant to be a prequel to Alien, but more like a film that would run alongside it in the same universe. Surprisingly, this change or retcon of Ridley Scott's Xeno origin intentions, if it were to happen, would make that idea even more true. Now, John Langraf also had this to say on the show. Noah has this incredible ability, and I think you've seen it with Fargo, to both find a way of being faithful, showing fidelity to an original creation like a Coen Brothers movie, or in this case, Ridley Scott's and James Cameron's follow-up Aliens, but also to bring something new to the table that represents extension and reinvention of a franchise at the same time. I hope they will feel like it's faithful to the franchise they love, but also a brave and original reinvention of that franchise. So what do you guys think this extension and reinvention could be? Are they trying to appease fans and adjust the story of the origin of the Xenomorph? Or is this simply referring to the immortality theme mentioned with the show, including AI, cybernetic implants, and mind transference? There is one hang-up in the timeline here though. Weyland and Yutani don't become Weyland Yutani until the year 2099, and Hawley uses the name Weyland Yutani exclusively when talking about the company. 70 odd years works as a time frame if you go to the very end of the spectrum, but if he had said 80 odd years instead, Weyland-Yutani makes more sense. Unless, that is, they plan to change the date of the merger/buyout of the company. So what are your thoughts so far on the timeline of the show and its possible implications or confirmations of the lore of the Xenomorph? Are you bummed out that Ellen Ripley won't likely appear? Let's discuss this down in the comments. As always, your likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions go a long way towards helping the channel grow. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.